Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dan McKee, and welcome to our virtual town hall meeting. We're here every Tuesday at noontime, talking about small business issues and filling in, making sure that we're giving everybody up-to-date information on what's going on. Today, we're going to have a good program with Mark Haywood, the SBA, and then, of course, Matt Weldon, DLT. I believe Liz Tanner will be on, Commerce may be on. And then we'll go to our committee, the Small Business Committee, which is the rismallbusiness.org, which is a great organization, and they'll tell you a little bit about what's going on there. Before we get into the into our broadcast, I just wanted to say that we continue to prepare in terms of my next step is into the governor's office, and so we continue to prepare to make sure that we are attacking the COVID and getting as many vaccines out as possible. In addition to that, making sure that we're doing everything we can to help the small businesses, survive this pandemic, this economic crisis that's been brought on by the COVID. And then finally, the schools issues. I'll just keep on talking about the schools. I think that we need to really be intentional about the lost learning in Rhode Island. Again, this is not any fault of the districts or the teachers. They're working extraordinarily hard, but it's just a fact. The virtual learning has cost hundreds of hours of learning time especially for our youngest students. And it doesn't matter whether you're high income or low income, moderate income. I've said this many times. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl going to a private school, a public school, or a charter school, or you live in the state of Rhode Island and you go out, you go through to your grade schools outside the state of Rhode Island. This is a very big challenge. So what I did in Cumberland was open up these municipal education departments, and we're going to, see what the interest is there in all 39 cities and towns, and try to put those in every community and be intentional about the lost learning. So I think we can move right in, to our program. I don't know if Joe's here or whether Mark Haywood's here, but I know that Mark's got some updates that he'd like to share. Hi, Mark. Yeah.
Hi, Governor. I splurged. I want you to know, if you can see them, they're like little whales.
Oh, yeah.
So I've splurged. I've got 3 new ones. This is the first one. I got 2 more, but I will save those for the future weeks. And actually, Governor, I have a lot of news.
Good.
We have, I will tell you, Governor, this is hot off the press. You are the first person to know about this. Please don't get me in trouble. But we have done in Rhode Island 5,100, because I just ran the report, 5,128 second draw loans for $727,190.67.
Well,
so
nice job, Mark.
So we continue to push it out there. And just FYI, Governor, the average loan size is $70,539, which is really good because it's showing that it's pushing this dollars out to the small business community. Now, if you remember, there were a number of people who missed out on the first draws. So I went in and I also pulled a report on the first draws. So these could be 501c3s or C6s, but 708 people received first draw loans for $21,160,844.34. The average loan size was $29,888. So both first draw PPP, second draw PPP is going along strongly. We had a conference call with Washington yesterday that said that $110 billion has been spent from the $280 billion that's been allocated. So we're doing okay. We're still moving along. I know that there are issues, Governor. We're getting a lot of calls saying these codes are coming up and I can't get my loan. We're aware of that. Ben has put up the Rhode Island _DO at SBA.gov. If you're getting contacted by your bank and saying that there was a code that we can't clear, contact us because we'll try to clear the codes. I know that we cleared a bunch of them overnight, and a lot of the community lenders are very focused in on this, Governor. And I will tell you that one community lender, we went back and forth. They put 357 loans in. They only had 9 that had code issues. So what are the code issues? Wrong addresses, duplicate loans. In some instances, what happened is that we're trying to stop the fraud where people may have put things in that they shouldn't put in. So a lot of things are going good. We did a session last night, Governor, with the Rhode Island Black Business Association. Excellent session. We had, I think, 35 people on the call. We went through an awful lot of information for them, so we're going to be following up with them. We've done 3 sessions this week with the Rhode Island CPA Society, Melissa Travis and her group, and we're cranking on. The one program that is not out yet, Governor, is shuttered venues, because we're waiting for the agency to provide us with that information. That's people, not only PPAC and Trinity, but a lot of other places too. Here's the dilemma on shuttered venues. If you get a PPP loan, you cannot get a shuttered venue grant. So I know a lot of people are holding back, and we're trying to work with them to try to figure out the timing on this. The other issue that we ran into that I have now sent to Washington is seasonal businesses. Because of the way the agency is now structured based upon the Economic Aid Act, it says that you can only be operating for 7 months. And I want to give you an example of the problem we're running into. Country clubs, golf courses. Because while they only operate during the summer, by law, they have to operate their dining rooms in their food establishments because of the way the victualling licenses are done through the cities and towns. So I have appealed a couple to Washington, and I'm hopeful that maybe we'll get somebody to understand it.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, Mark. And we are starting to approach $1 billion. It'd be great to exceed over $2 billion, but people got to apply, right?
Yep.
People got to get really take the initiative and apply. This dollars is so important to our state that we get these dollars in. So congratulations on that. On the shuttered venue, is there any? Somebody say there's a shuttered venue and the person that is closed it doesn't want to reopen it, but somebody wants to reopen it. Is that a technicality that's difficult to walk through, or is that a possibility?
No, because basically the shuttered venue, the way the computation is going to work is based off of prior income. So if you have lost in 45 or more % of your income, let's say you were open during 2019, that's going to be your basis by which you apply for the shuttered venue grant. So there are a lot of new information coming out on shuttered venue, Governor, but we just don't have enough information. And it could be a nightclub that had live entertainment. I mean, there are a lot of different places that are going to be eligible for the shuttered venue grants. And these are pure grants. It's a lot different than the PPP.
So just remind everybody again, we're into February, as I know painfully right now, because last week we thought that I'd be in the governor's seat right now, but things slowed down in DC. But when's the deadline to get an application in, Mark?
So on shuttered venues, they have not taken any applications whatsoever. So that probably will go until the end of the year, calendar year, or until the money's expended. On PPP, it's March 31st, Governor. So we're telling people, listen, if you're at that point where you need the PPP money, even if you're a seasonal business, I would start to apply, because while they told us it's we've expended 110 billion and we have approximately 160 billion left. We expended 110 billion over a 3-week period. So I'm not sure where we are. I do know that, and I talked to some of my friends in DC, and they said that's one thing about being old, Governor, and having worked in Washington for so long, for 13 years, is you got friends down there. They're saying that it's possible that they may include in this next package additional funds for PPP. I don't know, but this is what we were told. Ben, my friend Ben.
Hey guys, sorry, playing a little bit of a traffic cop today. Jen has a question, Mark. If someone is collecting unemployment, can they apply for PPP?
You can't have both. That's one thing because basically it's the Paycheck Protection Program, and you're being paid. I'm assuming she's a 1099 or a Subcorp S. You're paying salaries over a period of time, over those 8 weeks. When you're done with the 8 weeks, as Matt will tell you when he comes on, then you can apply for unemployment.
All right. And that's the only question for you, Mark. And we're going to get to Secretary
Thank
Fresno
you.
next.
Thanks, Governor. Good to see you.
Yeah, keep the money flowing.
I will.
Okay. Secretary Pryor, how are you?
Great governor. Can you hear me fine?
Did you just hear Mark say that he's got about 700, almost $800 million out the door?
Terrific news. And as you say, we got to get above 2 billion if we can.
Yeah, I think that we just do that. So what are some of your plans? I know we're going to do a program separate and apart, but I thought you could come on just for a few minutes today and talk about how commerce is stepping up as well on the PPP.
Yes, sir. And would you like us to, after that, just outline the eased restrictions very quickly?
Yes, please.
Okay, very good. And thank you for your input and guidance, Governor McKee, and we're grateful for outgoing Governor Raimondo's guidance on this as well. So on PPP, we have been, as you have encouraged, Governor, tracking those banks that are willing to take first-time applicants. One of the challenges in the first round, as you identified, is that unbanked businesses without banking relationships were struggling. So we've done a variety of things over the recent months on this front, but I just want to say this out loud. First of all, the Commerce RI website, commerceri.com, has the list of banks that are accepting first-time applications. So if your business hasn't done PPP before, don't have a banking relationship, check it out. And I'm just going to say out loud those banks, with your permission, Governor, just so people hear it right here and now. Bank Newport, Bay Coast Bank, Berkshire Bank, Bristol County Savings, Centerville Bank, Customers Bank, Greenwood Credit Union, Harbor One, Pawtucket Credit Union, and Washington Trust are all under certain parameters accepting new applicants. Great. So if you're hearing this and you're hearing Governor McKee's call that you got to apply, of course, to obtain the PPP funds, please consider these banks. If you already have a banking relationship, even better, go to your bank and see if you can get processed for a first or second disbursement under this program. Commerce has geared up and funded our partners in the community to ensure that we have outreach, that we have technical assistance, that we can handhold businesses through the process. We have partnered once again with the Center for Southeast Asians, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the Rhode Island CPA Society that Mark just mentioned, and I'll come back to them, the Multicultural Innovation Center, SCORE, Rhode Island SCORE branch, and SBDC. If any of those are organizations that you already work with as a small business, please go ahead and reach out to them if you just want some help in applying, or if you want to get to one of them. Again, check out the Commerce RI website, commerceri.com, or email us at info@commerceri.com, and we will help you. As to upcoming trainings, Governor McKee and Governor Raimondo want to make sure that we were outreaching and providing for information sessions. So we have collaborated with the CPA Society, Melissa Travis's organizations, bless her organization, bless her for her incredible work on this and many fronts, and Mark Hayward. They're doing a phenomenal job together. The next session is tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on PPP EIDL, which also is a financial instrument that you may be interested in for loan purposes. And it's called PPP EIDL and More, What's New and What's Next. 9 a.m. tomorrow, the 10th. So check out commerceri.com for info on that. There's also a Spanish language information session on the 16th at 5 p.m. And you can register for either one or both, for that matter, at commerceri.com. So those are the most important points. We're going to be, as Governor McKee identified, we're going to be doing more sessions as we go forward to make sure that everyone has a chance to get the information they need to apply for PPP. And Governor, may I move on just to talk about the restrictions? And another quick
encourage everybody to find one of the outlets, call our office if you especially the people who didn't qualify last time or couldn't figure out how to do it. We want a number of new businesses to get into the mix here as well.
Yes, we do. We do, and the time is now. We want to make sure that you get in and you get funded. So please let us know how we can help you. And the Commerce staff, of course, is also working in tandem with these technical assistance groups and these technical assistance sessions. A quick note and on to the restrictions. The Small Business Coalition, with thanks to Governor McKee, Chris, and many of the other orchestrators, have set up the shoplocalrhodeisland.com website. Before Christmas, before the holidays, Commerce invested more and upgraded it even more. Amazingly talented team. If you're looking for a last-minute Valentine's Day gift, please go to shoplocalrhodeisland.com. Rhode Island is spelled out, shoplocalrhodeisland.com. And there's all kinds of Rhode Island shops and stores that have gifts you can buy online, link to them, get to their electronic purchasing function, and you can get things shipped very often or just pick it up. So please shop local for Valentine's Day if you're doing any last minute shopping. Now on to the restrictions that, in consultation with the outgoing and incoming governor, we have loosened. Just want to say this very quickly. I know businesses that are focused upon this have already heard it, but Lieutenant Governor McKee and I, along with Dr. Alexander Scott, unveiled these last Thursday. We're going to say some more this Thursday with further consultation with the outgoing and incoming governor. But Governor McKee, for catered events, after heavy consultation with the industry, including Luke Renshin and Erica Trombetti and their terrific group, we've been able to lift capacity limits to 30 guests, and we made an exception for weddings where you can actually go up to 50 guests, much more reasonable from a commercial perspective. And in consultation with the industry, we've established a way you can test everyone and have a COVID safety officer to get to those numbers. The pre-existing number was only 15. So if you have questions about that, DBR is the organization that is consulting with businesses, but that's ready, that's happening. If you're a catering business, you can start to accept reservations for those numbers if you do the testing and have a designated safety officer on the catering team. So we're already getting some inquiries about some reservations. We're really pleased to see that, Governor. So that's happening. For indoor dining, capacity limits are at 50%, and now you can go to 2 households rather than 1 household at a table indoors. And you can go to 3 households rather than 2 households outdoors. So to simplify, the new rules are you can have 2 households at a restaurant table indoors and 3 households outdoors. Stay tuned. Governor McKee has asked us to consult with bar owners and restaurant owners with bar areas about what we can do to lift some of the restrictions, even if we have some parameters to lift some restrictions and get the bars open. So we're trying to do that in the next couple of weeks. Offices increased to 33% of personnel can come back. Remote workers can come back up to 33%. Gyms, as well as indoor recreation businesses, had a 14-foot separation between customers, clients, patrons. 14 feet in the old rules. We took that to 6 feet. And for smaller gyms, we're actually allowing for some increased flexibility. If you talk to DBR, I can get into that if people are interested. And the capacity limits were moved to 1 person per 125 feet, more people in a given space, from 1 per 150, both for gyms and for indoor recreation. That includes fitness studios, that includes yoga studios, and the like. I'm going to stop right there because I know time is limited, but I want to thank Governor McKee and Governor Raimondo for the continuing consultation and the encouragement to reopen business as is possible under our public health rules.
Thanks, Secretary. And you know that I believe in kind of this incremental movement, and so that's a great start. And hopefully, we're going to be really able to look at it and analyze and keep on, reopening and make sure the testing's out there, like you say. The vaccinations are underway, and so hopefully, we're going to see the light at the end of the tunnel here. For our
Yes.
small businesses. Ben, you got anything?
I have I have one question. First of all, I just want to say if you have a question in the comments and it's not getting answered, number one, Commerce is in there answering some questions right now. Number two, if you have a question and you have a situation that continues to not be answered, or you can't figure it out, email ltgov@ltgov.ri.gov and they will do their best to contact everybody and get you the answer that you need. Just one question for you right now, Secretary. Receiving the Restore RI grant, you need to claim it on your income taxes. I received a 1099, someone says.
Yes. Unfortunately, the federal government has required taxation of CARES Act funded programs, and Rhode Island's tax system is lockstep with the federal system. Really, they do that across the board for simplicity. So you apply one way for your taxes. So they're linked, they're congruent. Unfortunately, as things stand, grants under these programs are taxable. We continue to work with our congressional delegation, which is the best in the land, on whether anything can be done. But for now, that's the federal law. So we will continue to advocate.
All right, Secretary, and thank you for the 2 weeks ago jumping on and created the Friday opening for those restaurants so they didn't have to go the whole weekend. They appreciated that. That was mentioned on last week's program here on our virtual town hall.
Absolutely. And I think people may have heard this, but I want to say it out loud. Governor McKee turned to me as we exited that press conference and said, Stefan, I hear that the tradition has been with the public health officials to allow some lag time. Is there anything we can do? So with the governor's encouragement, we quickly consulted with RIDO and with the general counsel's office, and Governor Raimondo was pleased to enact that. So Governor McKee, thank you for your advocacy, and we're going to keep pushing as hard as we can to do things that are reasonable and helpful for small business.
That's the plan. Thanks, Secretary.
Thank you, Governor.
Yeah. Matt Weldon, I'm glad you're here with your mask.
Of course, Governor, all the time.
You know, thank you for doing that. I still got to get in touch with you because they're moving ahead on an unemployment claim for me. So I gotta figure out how to deal with this. So I'll call you.
Absolutely. We'll take care of it. Yeah. So very quickly, because I don't want Ben to tell me to move along. So here we go. We remain incredibly busy, and part of that is because of the new programs that were introduced by Congress, and part of it is because we still have an economy that's getting back to full speed, but clearly isn't there yet. And we want to serve Rhode Islanders as quickly as we can. We want to make sure that we're putting money back into our economy, and we want you to spend that money on small businesses. That's number one for us, is to get people connected with the benefits they're entitled to. And as we discussed last week, Governor, the problem is there are a lot of bad actors that are taking advantage of these systems from Washington state to Maine. It's happening in every single state, and they are using these federal programs and incentives as a reason to attack programs and get money out of states. And we're doing everything we can to prevent that. And so that means that we're stopping more claims than we have in the past. We're using an artificial intelligence tool to stop claims. We're working with banks to claw the money back when we can confirm that cases were fraudulent. We're doing that every single day. We've put a lot of money into the economy, and we continue to do everything we can to get that done quickly. I am urging everyone that's participating today to go to our website, dlt.ri.gov, and poke around at the website to try to find information for basic questions that you may have. Because of the volume, and believe it or not, fraudsters call our agency every single day. Our call numbers are out of this world, and there's no way we could ever get to everyone. So what I'm asking you to do is, if you have general questions about the status of programs, if you want to know when the programs end, like right now, I can tell you that the federal programs will be paying people through April 10th, and that may change again with the next stimulus bill. You cannot apply after March 13th, but if you're already on a program, you can wind it down to April 10th. That's a quick response. And I hear every day from people that say, I just want to hear somebody say it on the phone, so I'm willing to call in and wait. I'm not, because we don't want to talk to you, because of course we do. But I just think that people have better things to do with their time than wait and try to get through to our staff. And that would maybe free up the staff to try to get other people paid. Very quick hit on a few things. 1099s. 1099s are sent out because unemployment insurance is taxable. And at the end of the year, you need to file a form with your taxes. If you filed a complaint with the state police or DLT that a claim was filed in your name, like yours, Governor, or mine, then that is confirmed fraud. That means that we have gone in and locked that account if it wasn't already locked, and you will not get a 1099. I just want to repeat that. The IRS has told us, do not send a 1099 form to anyone that you've confirmed as fraudulent, because we've already reported that to the IRS and the State Division of Taxation, and there is no tax liability for anyone who's a victim of fraud. So you file your taxes as if the unemployment claim was never filed. There will not be any problems. If you receive a 1099 in the mail and you were not expecting one, that means someone unfortunately had your information and used it to file a claim. We've probably already stopped that and frozen it. However, there is a form up on our website. It's a link to file with your information. We will then reach out to you as quickly as we can to say, okay, Matt Weldon, we got your information. We know you didn't file this claim. We're going to issue you a corrected 1099, so you're not held responsible for any taxes that some fraudster may have tried to get out of the system. The biggest thing I want to say besides that is everybody keep certifying every week. If you have questions about how many more weeks can I collect, try to look online and keep certifying. There is a status page that you can use on our website, and that will generally tell you we have some new technology that will be rolling out in the coming weeks, and that will give you a better idea. But in the meantime, when Sunday comes on your calendar, certify for a payment. If there's a problem, then let us know.
Yeah, Matt, that's really critical. You just heard me talk to Mark Haywood and Secretary Pryor about getting the PPP loans out to the businesses. The same thing applies on the unemployment. If you qualify, we want you to get the money. So if you got questions, again, you can call our office. We'll get you in touch with Matt's office, and then go online as he suggested and making sure you qualify in that. But if you got any questions, call us. We want you to get the money. If you're entitled to it, we want that money to go there. That's going to help our economy. Ben, you got something for Matt?
I do. Matt, one question for you today. Can you get a forgivable PPP loan and still participate in WorkShare?
Okay, so that's actually a very good question. And the issue is, is the loan only allowing you to open in a partial capacity? Right. And so just like if you didn't have the loan and you need to apply for WorkShare because you were going to have to lay people off, WorkShare stops imminent layoffs. That is the most important part of it. If that was going to happen and you got a PPP loan and you'd still have to lay people off because you don't have enough to bring them back to full capacity, go ahead and apply for WorkShare and we'll talk to you about it. If you got a PPP loan and that allows you to have enough money, but you're preferring to use it for other purposes, that's probably not allowable.
Thank you. Last thing from me for today, most likely, if you did not get an answer to your question, if you have a problem that keeps recurring, Matt says that every week, ltgov@ltgov.ri.gov, send that email. And Cheyenne from the governor's office, Lieutenant Governor's office, will get back to you and try to get that settled for you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Matt.
Thank you very much, Governor.
You got it. Okay, I think we got Chris coming on and Laurie, got the nice thing going on, and then we got Justin, seeing his shop there. I guess that's must be 3 o'clock. I want to get Justin on, but okay, here comes this is my 3 buddies that started this. Oh my God, I had to be back in March sometime of getting this done. We've come a long way, and I think that we're ready to kind of make sure that we do everything we can to help these small businesses stay in business. So, Chris, just give us a little overview of where you are, and then we'll go to Laurie, and then we'll end up with Justin.
Sure thing. Thank you, Governor. So as I mentioned last week, the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition sent out a survey, and one of the most damning questions was, were you able to afford February rent? 60% said no, or they were barely able to afford rent. And what that means is obviously small businesses are still struggling. The PPP loans, as Mark Hayward and his team just expressed, that's a huge boost, and that's exactly what we're going to need, but we're definitely going to need more. And the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition has been working with Commerce Rhode Island, working with Secretary Pryor last week to talk about how can we continue to safely open up some restrictions. One of the most common ones that these comments that I see here is about the bars. We are working hard with Commerce to open up the bars safely. Now, we don't know exactly when that could be happen. We have to work with the Department of Health, but we are listening from our coalition members, from all these bar operators, and understand that this is a way to increase our revenues and doing it in a safe way. So hopefully we can have some more official news coming with that within a week or two. But continuing to work with the coalition members, continuing to listen to them. We have some committees that are formed so that we can really develop a legislative agenda and continue to advocate for our small businesses. And then the other half of ours is the Shop Local Rhode Island, led by Lori and her team.
Go ahead, Laurie, jump in.
Yeah, thank you. Hey guys, we're together. I feel like it's been 10 years.
You like it?
Whew.
I'll have Andrea take a picture of this.
Yeah. So, Shop Local Rhode Island. I think Secretary Pryor kind of stole my thunder. I had 5 days to Valentine's Day on my list, and there are all sorts of great Rhode Island businesses. This month we've been focused in our social media around the businesses that are doing deals and specials. So we have like specials for rock climbing. We have specials on a free day of play for your dog. There are yurts at the Chandler Hotel offering a special. There's a company, Hickory Dickory Dots, that have some very cool little gifts for Valentine's Day. Anyway, I feel like I'm doing a QVC here, but there are some amazing, wonderful businesses, and we are sending out these stickers for the window or door of a business to give a consumer, to build consumer confidence. And we're asking those businesses to post the reopening RI listing next to this so that there's a good understanding when someone approaches a business from the street, what they can expect moving in. So yeah, we are just rolling along, and we're going to continue to expand the site, and we look forward to it.
That's
Amazing.
That's the good news, Laurie, right? That we're going to expand. We're not done. We're going to keep on, moving in a way that we keep on improving things for our small businesses during the pandemic and then after the pandemic. I still think that we can find some of those CARES Act dollars to be intentional about where those grants can go, and we're working on that right now. I would fully expect that something's going to come up, and we'll just have to talk to the coalition about what makes the most sense. Who needs the help. We want to make sure that every business is getting the help that we can possibly provide. That's why the PPPs are so important, that those small business loans and also the grants. And then the third of the tripod, right? The third leg of the tripod is the restrictions being lifted, and what Chris was saying, and legislation being passed that is really smart legislation to help our small businesses. And that's what we're going to be working with the coalition on. Justin, how are you doing?
We're doing, staying busy. One thing I've been working on a little bit behind the scenes, I know you and I touched on it a little bit, is I reached out to the members at REMA that are involved with the COVID-19 testings and their rapid programs. And they actually have a rapid program that's available to like small business owners, gyms, bars, restaurants. There's an extensive form to fill out. So I'm working with them a little bit on streamlining those forms, making these a little bit more available to small businesses. Right now, I believe the cost is like $180, which would get you your rapid test kits. That goes to the federal government. So I'm sure there's some, different ways we can work on some of that stuff. But, I think just making these testings a little bit more available to some of the small business owners out there will, help ease some of the tensions and help us get our bars and our restaurants back open to full capacity. But that's kind of some of the behind the scenes I've been working with Dan and Sam over there, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, Justin, I think that it's about really being flexible and trying to find ways that we can, continue to step ahead and help the small businesses. It's different today than it was a year ago, right? I mean, but there's still a need. So I just want to thank the three of you, that you've hung in there. We got some good momentum going on some issues that matter. And like I said, I've always said this, and it's not only during the pandemic, but it's after the pandemic. I think that we're going to make far more. We're kind of in the survival mode right now, right, in terms of our businesses. But we can get into the thriving mode if we keep this messaging going and become the strong voice on behalf of the small businesses, which the coalition that the three of us helped start. With one phone call with Justin, I gave him my cell phone number. So, and then we moved on from there. All right, so I think I guess I'm moving on to some sort of COVID meeting right now. So I want to just thank you. We'll be here next week, and thank you so much. And let's keep on supporting our small businesses, like Laurie and I said. You know, this is the time to buy the flowers, buy the different things, different products, and then out there, don't forget our restaurants. Order. You know, if you're not going to directly to have the dinner, order to go. You know, take it to go. That means just as much to a business as anything, right? Take it to go and bring it home, and then have a good Valentine's Day. And I'll have a good. My wife Susan's birthday is right around Valentine's Day, so I need to do both. So I'll do 2 orders. All right. So thank you for being here. The small business issues continue to be an issue. PPP loans. If you're a business out there and you're wondering whether you qualify for one of those small business loans, contact our office, contact the SBA. We can qualify that in terms of whether you are going to be able to participate in that program or not. If you think you can, give us a call. We want that money out. The grant strategies, we're still kind of working on that. When I get into office, we're definitely going to be, opening up some form of a grant strategy. Again, we'll work with the small businesses to see, what's the best way to use whatever funds we can find to help the business. And then finally, it's the third part of that tripod, right? The third part of the tripod is to make sure that we lift as many restrictions as we can, doing it in an intentional way, do it in a safe way, and we're going to continue to work on that. And of course, all the different long-term stuff that has to do with statutes and looking at some level of business relief. Let's create the small business state. Rhode Island can be this great state, right? That's a small business friendly state. And that's what we've been talking about on these virtual town halls now for almost 10 months, 11 months. We're going to keep it going too. So thank you for being here. Stay safe. We say stay positive and test negative.